Hi, this is Steve Prattley from Visibly Better Marketing, and today we're going to be doing a teardown of a legal landing page. So what I want to do in this is just to run through looking at a typical page that we find after the click on an AdWords advert, and just run you through some of the things that we can do to improve on a typical page here. No particular reason. We're going to go for a divorce lawyer landing page. I was talking to a divorce lawyer earlier. If my wife's watching this, don't panic. It's just somebody I met at a networking meeting. No problems going on there. So we're going to look for one that's in a reasonably local area to me. So just kind of a quick look at these things. Right, there's one here that I recognise. Actually, just back up a moment. Okay, this is the first thing. When you're doing an analysis of a website and how well it works, or if it's a site you've had built for yourself. You need to get out of the habit of just looking at, does it look nice? Does it represent our brand? Is it us? And put yourself in the head of the consumer. So, and the way to do that is to start not on the website itself, but one step back, which is how does the person find the site? So in this case, we've gone looking for it on Google. Fairly typical for law services. A lot of these are distress purchases needed relatively urgently. A lot of law firms get referrals from other people. But if you don't know somebody who's been in a situation and something like a divorce, maybe you don't want to discuss that with somebody else. Google's a good place to start. Now, the first thing you're going to spot is that we've got 1, 2, 3 paid ads here. We've got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 before we even start scrolling. And then we've got these Google local ads, the Google My Business ads, which are based on their map results. Now these are also, we believe, going to start moving to being paid ads, and we've already seen that in a few sectors as well. So, there's 3 there. There's a whole list of divorce lawyer ads before you even start looking at the organic search results. Look at this. Pretty much every single ad above the fold here, i.e. the stuff you can see before you start scrolling, is paid for. And there's a lot of choice. So never forget the context in which your customer's looking for you. They're looking for you within multiple lawyers, and what they're trying to do is to choose you over the other lawyers on that page. And never forget that. Never forget that they have other choices, and that you need to say what's actually different about you. And we'll get back into that when we start talking about the copy in a bit. Okay, so here's our page. Fairly typical web page. Some navigation down the side, navigation over the top, buttons, bit of lifestyle-y type graphics. This is the bridge that you can actually see pretty much from their offices. Divorce and family solicitors, so that's cool. So that's what I was looking for in the search phrase, and it matches up with the local phrase, the local search that we were that we'd put in as well. Kingston's not actually in Surrey, but we'll let that one slide. They're probably trying to pick up more than one locational area. So I'm going to start running through a few things that I think we could do to make this page a little bit better. So first thing is make sure that your page follows through well from your advert, and they've done that. So we were looking for divorce solicitor and in Kingston, and that's clearly there. Maybe even bold that up a little bit. Not too much contrast between that text and the call to action here, but they've achieved that first step. So there's a good follow through from one to the other, and that will give them a better quality score in Google. That will help them to rank higher amongst the other adverts at the same price. The next thing is really around the call to action itself. So kind of working down the page. contact us for a free consultation. This is a little bit odd. We're not quite sure if it's a button or a link. Generally speaking, keep the verb within your call to action. So contact us should be the within that call to action. Now, contact us for a free consultation or phone us on whatever number. Do I not get a free consultation if I call? What happens if I click here? People clicking away from the page is always a bit of a concern. You're never quite sure where it's going to take you, or are you going to be able to find your way back again. But we'll have a look at this, and we get a relatively generic consultation form here. Okay. Now they may or may not have the tracking in place so that they can understand that this came from the divorce lawyer page, and they're relying on that message, where somebody may not want to put in the details of their messy married life right here at the moment. Okay, so that could be cleaned up a little bit. Put the form on the page itself would be my first set of advice. Just make it as easy as possible. You've got somebody on the page, they know what they're doing, they're trying to get in touch with you. Might be that they are doing what I'm doing right now, which is looking at this page well outside of office hours, and leaving their email address or a number for a callback. Also here actually, legal services in particular, and I've seen this in some other areas like medical and in recruitment, you don't really want people calling you up on your office line in the middle of the day where somebody else might pick it up. It's definitely going to be a mobile call. It might be a personal email. Give them the option of when you're going to get back in touch with them. It's really important that you contact your customer on their terms. I think that's a strong point for any contact form, particularly when we are asking for a phone number. Is offer a callback, phrase it as request a callback, and give them the chance to specify when's a good time for them. And if that's out of hours, then you kind of need to deal with that, or just give them some options of hours when they can get a callback. The next thing is the copy itself. Now, I'm going to read some of this out, and as I read it out, I think you'll see some of the issues that sit within this. We understand how difficult the breakdown of a relationship can be, and that priorities vary considerably in each case. We therefore offer a free initial consultation to assess your needs and to determine the best route to a successful outcome for you. Whether personal issues, financial considerations, or disputes concerning your children, we appreciate that this is a worrying and stressful time for you, and that such problems can result in complex legal issues that need to be resolved. Naturally, you need to find an advisor who has a detailed legal knowledge, but just as importantly, you need an advisor who will adopt an understanding approach to your case. We combine relevant expertise and experience in the law with commitment to reduce the stress caused to you and your family as far as possible. We understand what it takes to enable you to move on. Blah, blah, blah. There is really nothing in that sets these guys apart from any other solicitor. Any other solicitor is going to have almost exactly the same copy, different word forms. They all say that they give good service. They all say they give good understanding. There's not really an awful lot that stands out. Or as you go through it, gives any real evidence of them having settled cases like this in the past before. As we go further down the page, our team can support you with all aspects of personal and family issues, including divorce, financial separation, pre and post marital agreements. It looks like they're trying to sell you on a prenup for your next marriage before they've even settled the divorce on this one. So this is not the time to be selling additional services in. You need to wait until you've got that contact with the client before you can upsell. Way too soon for that. References to other service providers. Okay. So the other thing is the tone of this copy. Now, lawyers are trained to be dispassionate and objective, and unfortunately that comes across in their copy. One thing I would say is that conversational works in almost every copy environment. When you actually go and see one of these guys, they will be just as rational and objective about your case, but they will use a much more relaxed language. I'm not talking about dropping F-bombs and spelling great GR8, but they will have a much more conversational tones. Things like we therefore offer, is just not a phrase that anybody, even the most pompous lawyer, will ever use when they actually talk to you face to face. So I think the copy needs a little bit of work to be more engaging and to have a little bit of a face behind it. So faces, we come on to the shots down below. Now, pretty certain that these guys are, the solicitors involved in the firm. This one here, I'm only guessing as one of the lawyers just because I happen to recognise the shot in the background as being close to where their office is. But that could almost be a client shot that sits on a testimonial. There's some names down here which, if you've worked your way through the copy, maybe relate to these guys. But put a name and put a name to the face and a face to the name. And describe this stuff next to the photos of the individuals. It's really good to be able to personalise any service. You're going to have to sit down in a room with these guys at some point, and just understand who they are, and that's going to help breed a little bit of familiarity with them. But tie the two together here. The next bit, and I'm glad that I'm showing this as a video of the screen itself and not just a screen grab as I originally planned, but it has this scrolling text which I was just like, what is this? And it takes you a while to focus in on what it actually is, and it's a testimonial. But because when you hit it, it's not at the start of the testimonial, you have to kind of wait for it to scroll around before you actually see what it's even talking about, and you have to read it at its pace, which it may be going too fast for you, maybe going too slow for you. Now, it's a real shame because actually these guys have a whole page full of testimonials up here. And it's it's pretty serious. They've got a lot of stuff in here. They've got lots of feedback. They've been active in encouraging feedback. There we go. But you have to go looking for it. Okay, you have to go looking for it. Don't make people look for this stuff. Put it on the landing page itself. Proof and demonstrations that you've done this in the past and that you've got successful results. It's exactly what people are looking for in these scenarios. Social proof, other testimonials from other people, reviews and things if you have them, are all good stuff. Get them onto the page. So get the form onto the page. Get these images, probably even bigger and with some names and their credentials next to them. Get the testimonials on there, and also right down at the bottom, resolution first for family law. Now, because I went through this, I actually understood that resolution is the Solicitors Family Law Association, so it relates to the copy in here, and so you should really pull that out as we're members of resolution, and put these accreditation logos, be a bit more prominent with them as well. Okay, so what else have we got? So we've got some testimonial things. Right now, this is a really common problem. When you're building the landing pages for your paid advertising, and when you're building pages for search engine optimization, there's some quite different criteria about the two. I know that people, for SEO purposes, will want to link up and put all these different links in there. These are just downright confusing when you're just looking for one thing. We were looking for divorce solicitors, we found it. These things here might make you worry that you're on the wrong page. You've got divorce and money, divorce and the family home, domestic violence, let's hope that's not our own individual case, but financial settlements in divorce, Matrimonial Causes Act. There are 3 or 4 other pages that make you think, well, maybe this should be the thing that I'm looking at, and then you click away and then you start getting lost and you're not quite sure which service it is, and all of a sudden there's uncertainty in there and you're not quite sure who you're dealing with, and you start to feel a little bit confused, a little bit less certain about using them. Get rid of all this stuff. You've got them to the right page. What you want them to do is, first of all, to see some evidence that you're the right person to make a choice between you and the other suppliers. And then you want to get their details, okay? You want to get them to get in touch with you. So really focus on that stuff. Focus on proving that you're the right person. Don't try and concentrate on giving them chapter and verse about all of the services that you can do. It's a little bit like this symptom down here where they start talking about all the other things they do. It's a terrible problem for lawyers in particular because they cover just absolutely everything, and a law firm like this that covers anything to do with the family or small business in particular is trying to hit a lot of angles. You're better off trying to show that you're the expert in the particular thing that they're looking for and moving them down that funnel and then upselling them later on than you ever are trying to say we can do everything. They're not interested in everything. They're interested in one thing. They're interested in the marital problem they've got right now that they want. They've decided they need a solicitor to get involved in. So keep the rest of the navigation absolutely minimal on the pages that are there for paid advertising and focus really hard on that conversion. Okay, right now one of the last tips is just around the phone number actually. The clicks on these adverts for law firms cost quite a lot of money. They usually cost you anything between £2 and £10 on personal law cases, and for commercial stuff it goes up to 20, 50, £100 clicks on some cases are not unusual, particularly for people trying to pull people into class action suits and things like that. So you do want to have a think about whether you can use some call tracking software. So if somebody rings you up, then you can tell which advert they were clicking on in order to get through to you. So it will just change this number related to the ad. Depends how much you're spending. If you're only spending a few £100s a month on your Google AdWords, it's probably not worth the additional expense. But if you start to spend even small numbers of thousands, and you're like most lawyers advertising across all sorts of different areas. So these guys do divorce, conveyancing, wills, disputes, landlord disputes, motoring offences, all sorts of stuff in here. If you're advertising across those, you want to know where your money's going. Okay, so we'll go back to our page here. Okay, so just running through the page, we've got the possibility of using call tracking. It's pulling the testimonials onto the page. It's pulling the form onto the page and making that clearer. The actual call to action stands out itself. Trying to do cross sells and links off to other content that might just confuse them. Putting names to the faces. Taking away these animated distractions from the page. And above all, remember how we got here. From this Google page with these 20 or so other lawyers all on the same page, and that you have to stand out and provide a reason why they'll choose you over and above these other guys, and not just on your own terms. Everybody is saying they provide good service. Everybody says that they understand you. You need to find something that says this is why you should use us. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. If you're looking at this on our website at Visibly Better, then I'd love to see any of your comments below about improvements you think you can make, or things you may have done which have made a big change in the conversion rates of your paid landing pages. If you're looking at this on YouTube or any other site, there should be a link in the comments below that will take you back to us. So click on that, and we'd love to hear from you.